How's it going, everyone? Welcome back to another XRP update. And to be honest, the whole market actually needs to bounce right now because on Bitcoin and ETH, on some higher time frames, let's just head over to them and show you. I do recommend actually checking out the Bitcoin and ETH updates, but if you don't have spare time, very briefly, this must hold. There's no moving averages underneath, we'd be losing the uptrend, so a recovery of this next one over here, 94k, needs to be reclaimed by the end of this week, and I don't think that's likely. So, but at some point it needs to get reclaimed. Going to ETH, also this area needs to be reclaimed. So it showed signs of a bounce yesterday, and it needs to reclaim this level, and the all moving averages essentially to get back above the neckline of this bearish pattern, the head and shoulders, which is the same on XRP, right? I've been warning of this actually while this bullish pattern was forming. I was saying we're expecting a breakout. Here are my two expected resistance areas. Once this is broken, we'll get into the final resistance area as it's the target of the pattern. But as there's nothing expected beyond that point, then it could be an area where it could lower high. Now, the Fibonacci's, the 786 and the 886, $3.15, that must break to see these higher price targets. So while price is trading and chopping under this level, those targets should not happen. Only on the break of 315 do they become valid. And as we started rolling over in this case over here, we can see there was this trend line going through the body candle closes, and this forms naturally a head and shoulders pattern. So even before it managed to actually form that, I was already saying it from down here. And at the moment, if the market doesn't get this bounce, remember, Bitcoin has to protect this level. It's just now made new lower lows. So it must recover and bounce to 94k. Otherwise, XRP is going to continue to lose the 100 EMA and dump down to the 200. That would actually be losing this green box of support. So $2.05 to $2.28. This area now must hold. You know what? I'm just going to make it even slightly bigger. Yes, gonna to this trend line. This support over here, it's a previous high in the past. So resistance turning into support, and then losing that is very negative. However, there's that one final wick where the 200 EMA is. So it could be that we're just looking to deviate, losing the support, recovering it, reclaiming the 100 EMA, the neckline, and then finally 315. And that's when all these targets become valid. In fact, even higher than that, up to 6. I think it'd be 6, to be honest. But yeah, that is all possible on the break of 315. As you can see, there are many levels it needs to recover in order to get up there. And we really want to avoid it coming down lower, because that really just makes the journey back up a lot tougher. At the first resistance, it just fails. So the further down you see XRP going, the more resistances it has that it must break, that it can't fail at. And it makes its task a lot harder. Now we're starting to see this bearish cross forming between this orange. Can you see how it's under? And this purple one here was above. But it looks like the purple's trying to go under the orange, and that's a bearish cross. So we got a bullish cross to start this trend in the first place, all down over here. And then we had this movement up. And there was some fundamental news as well, apparently tax-free on crypto. I don't know if that's in place yet, but that's what sent it up. Now we came into a multi-year resistance. It's a key Fibonacci level. This Fibonacci goes back to 2021. And then this level is also a 7 to 8 year resistance that hasn't been, attempted in that long period. So it just makes sense that it rejects short-term, mid-term, and this is the pattern essentially. So these have been my warnings, but remember, this bearish case is invalidated if we can start reclaiming the head and shoulders. At least at that point I can say the bearish pattern is invalid for now, but it would still need to break through 315 and flip that into support. Recovering the neckline just means the target is invalid for now, but it could of course get up into the next area and eventually lose it again. So that's something that needs to be avoided. Don't worry, I'm going to be here to make video updates daily as it develops. Maybe not on every single weekend, but I need some time off. But yeah, for now, the 100 EMA 228 must be reclaimed actually today in the last 5 hours, because yesterday and the last 2 days we actually maintained its support. It's not the end of the world if we do lose it. However, losing it would signal that this is now the magnet. It's getting pulled towards the 200 EMA. The reason why I say it's not the end of the world is because there is support here that we created yesterday at 207, which is above these lows. So if it can actually maintain that, actually not close a daily candle below, so close a daily candle above and start reversing the following days to recover the 100 EMA, can't flip it into resistance. It needs to recover it and then recover the neckline. So all in all, although this needs to be where the whole market bounces, it's very weak, and we can see Bitcoin is on a lifeline. ETH is not bouncing when it should have. It broke out over here. It's meant to continue high. I've been following my ETH updates. I said even if it did get up there, it's going to go down anyways, as it's the neckline of the pattern and multiple bearish crosses now. It faked out, so it tricked everyone. Anyone that bought here was buying through this accumulation. A few days ago it was 2.8k. Now it's 2.3k, looking like it wants to lose this low. Watch my video because ETH is coming to critical support. Look, it could be going to new lows soon if this is not where it bounced. So that's why I'm saying it must bounce, but you can see how hard it is, even for a coin that's even bigger than XRP. Look how high it needs to get without reversing. Of course, if it gets up there, it's going to dump. Then it's about not losing where we've bounced from, so creating that higher low and then recovering. So it could chop around for another 1-2 months still, even if we are bullish. And if we're bearish, then it could take that long to find a bottom and then still need to accumulate to go up. So it's going to be choppy times up ahead. Even if we start seeing movements back up, it can roll over from here. It's just going to keep chopping. But ultimately, it's about this green box and that red box. So around 2 and 3.15. And we're waiting for one of those to break. And of course, a downtrend would begin if we lose the lower. And then new all-time highs where I'm expecting $6 if it breaks to the upside. But let's take it step by step. Can't be thinking about $6 when we're caught in a macro bearish pattern and actually lost the neckline, as I've been warning for about a month now. So, every day that was developing, we might have been going up higher, but the story didn't change. Yes, they might have tricked you into buying again, but I was constantly saying it's not above 315. That's when it's technically bullish. This is fake until it's above. Once it's above, it's no longer fake. So you have to be super confident this is going to be the best price possible to enter. If it did actually manage to get up there, then you'd say, oh, looking back, with hindsight, you're going to say, oh, that was the best buy. But you have to be convinced at that point right now that it is going to do that. And now that it's even lower than before, you have to be convinced once again that's going to be the lowest price point that it gets to. And then we will make a new high from here. But what if it doesn't? What if we just run into this bearish cross that's about to form and then roll over and eventually lose this key level of support? See, even if we bounce from here, that's all resistance, and a recovery of this level, that's still resistance. It's going to be a lot of hard work. So what I'm trying to get at is there's no need to rush to panic buy, for example, and to panic whatsoever, because it's just going to be choppy, and the market's trying to decide whether it wants to lose this support or break this resistance, and then it'll be very, very clear after that. So right now it's going to be choppy, boring, and make these videos every single day saying the same thing because there's this bearish pattern developing. We're in a bull market and we want that to be invalidated. But when we have Bitcoin at very, very key level support, macro support, losing 200 days is the average of this. So if you're losing that, wow, expect some months of downward moves. So literally no rush whatsoever to do anything. If we start losing this trend line, then yeah, months of down. So no need to react quick unless that's to get out, but to DCA, yeah, slowly DCA it, can't wait for bottoming out period. It would accumulate again. It will take some time. It won't be instant. So it would happen over a few months. However, if this is protected down over here, we actually see the break to the upside, then we know we're in the clear, that we're going up for months. So really just you need to decide whether this is going to hold or it's going to be lost, because if it is going to hold, then this is where you want to be accumulating for $6, right? If we're going lower, then of course you don't want to be doing that. So I will be here to update it day by day, and then you come to your own conclusions. Use this as a basis to do your own analysis. If you want more content, more exclusive content, more personal viewpoints of my own, check out the Discord community. If you want one-to-one help, the mentorship, or the ebook, which you can do at any point in time. And I'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.